guys, I was listening to some Django Rheinhardt the other night, who's one of my favourite guitarists. He was famously, he was a European gypsy who was injured in a caravan fire so that his left hand was badly burnt and disfigured, and he essentially had only 3 working fingers, some of which were made of other fingers that had kind of fused together in the fire. And somehow, despite that, he became possibly the greatest guitarist that ever lived, and definitely one of the premier guitarists that ever lived. He plays in a very jazzy style which is often called manouche, also called gypsy jazz. And whilst I don't claim to be an expert on that style at all, I have in the past shared some cool stuff on this channel. I've learned a lot from Mr. Django Rheinhardt, and I'd love to share with you now just a little lick. I was just having dinner the other night listening, and just a lick popped up and I just had to pause the music and grab my guitar. Very simple, but I think it's worth sharing, and I'll tell you why I think it's worth sharing. So let me play for you quickly. That's the beginner version. When I was improvising, I would do something like... something like that. What's really cool about it is the chromatic movement. So we are playing to a C. If we're aiming here for a C minor chord, that's the C minor chord where you go 5, 4, 3 across the G, B and E strings. What's interesting about this, the lick starts on a G, which is a nice safe note for C because G is the 5th of C. So C and G will always go nicely together. And if you look, it's a C note, E flat, that's the minor 3rd. G is the 5th. So C, G, C and G create that wonderful harmonious sound. Or if you play a C power chord, C and G. So it's no surprise that a lick in C starts on the G. But the cool and colourful and tasty thing here is when it goes 0, 2, 3, 4. I love those colour notes, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what's called chromaticism. Chromatic comes from the Greek word for colour, and a chromatic note is simply a note that's not in the scale or key that you're playing in. And I just find that little lick so beautifully colourful and tasty and evocative through its use of chromaticism. So I wanted to share it with you. I've been doing it, for example, okay, and I'll just quickly show you. So then play the C minor, and then what I was doing was going with the 4 and the 3, took a little trill, then the next one 4 and 3, and then the C. Something like that. I've been doing it in A minor, so you know I often play in A minor and I often teach you in A minor. So it's going, so same thing, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, same lick just on the E string. And that brings us to a nice A minor position where we can do a lot of the stuff I've shown you in previous lessons. You know, E minor or E major. So look, really, that's all the lesson is today. I'm going to wrap it up. There's no point in me talking and talking and talking. Very simple, just something that I thought was really cool and full of colour and full of interest. I will be adding it to my vocabulary, and I'm happy to offer it to you if you'd like to add it to your vocabulary. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.